Welcome to How to Deal When the Shit Gets Real podcast. I'm Marietta.
And I'm Connie. And we are two crazy cousins. And today, we're taking it a little bit lighter, a little bit easier, and talking about what movies, TVs, books we've been binging because, let's face it, it's a pandemic, I guess, out there. So we're all bored. And what should we watch?
Exactly. What should we watch? What should we read? What goofy shit should we do? All the above.
And we've kind of talked a little bit on this previously, but this is more of a little bit of our like ratings, like what's super good, what we weren't interested in. And also it's because I've noticed a shit ton of lists on BuzzFeed and popping up on my Instagram of what movies are coming out because they want you to, the entertainment world wants you to start watching movies and stuff from home so they can still generate revenue.
Right. And I feel like I'm the only person in the world who hasn't watched Tiger King.
Hey, you and Tom. I finally gave in and kind of watched it. I had it playing in the background while I was working.
Well, then kind of. I don't know. It doesn't interest me, really. And I don't know. I want to go against the grain. I don't want to be like everybody else.
Tom says he just feels like he's seen all of the memes, so he feels like he's already watched it, so what's the point?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I can see that there's been a ridiculous amount of memes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I honestly think it was out of boredom because normally I'm listening to like other documentary type things because it's a lot of talking when I work, and I just ran out of things to watch. And I was just like, Tiger King's new. Fine. You go. I did like hold off though a few months.
Yeah, I just haven't given in yet. But, there was certain shows that I've been wanting to watch that I haven't had time to watch that I finally did get to watch, like The Sopranos, which has been over forever. But I finally got to watch the whole series, and now I know why everybody's mad about the end.
I have not seen that series. Good, bad, what do you think?
I liked it. It was good. There's actually lots of funny parts in it, which you wouldn't think because there's so much bang bang shoot 'em up also. But there was an episode where Paulie and Christopher were lost in the woods, and it was hysterical. I mean, it was funny.
And if you're really into that type of thing, like if you thought that was pretty good, another one that's decent, that's similar, is Boardwalk Empire.
Well, I haven't watched that.
Because that's, it's not Al Capone, but it's the same era, different gangsters.
Okay, I'll have to watch that.
There actually is a scene, though, that, or like a little section that is in Chicago. But it's very good. It's been over for forever. It was through HBO.
Oh, that's probably why I never watched it. It's the same as The Sopranos. I never watched it because I never had HBO, and now that we have Amazon Prime, it's through Amazon Prime, and I'm like, sweet, I can finally watch it for free, quote unquote, because I pay for Prime, but I don't have to pay for HBO.
But yeah, I held off on watching like Boardwalk Empire, and then I finally gave in. I was like, sure, why not? But this was a little bit back, but since you were talking about Sopranos, that's almost a comparable one.
Yeah. Well, sometimes same genre, and sometimes there's a show that you've been wanting to watch and it's been over and you're finally like, okay, I should watch this. That's like Kyle and I watched Lost long after everybody had gone through the craze of Lost. But, it was I think it was on Hulu or Netflix or something. I don't know what it was on, but it was one of those things where it popped up as like, here's this suggestion for you. And we were like, Lost. Okay, well, let's try it and see if we like it.
Aren't they bringing that back?
They are? How could they bring that back? They're all dead. Sorry. Oh, God. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry.
Well, no. I thought they were going to do, a spin-off of it or something.
News to me. I didn't know that.
Hold on. Google. Lost. Let's see.
My Connie's looking that up. I don't know about anybody else out there, but I am really excited for the next chapter of The Haunting of Hill House, which I guess the next one is going to be called The Haunting of Briar Manor, I think they said. super pumped. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but that show is legit. I don't know if Connie's seen it or not.
I have watched 2 or 3 episodes, and the only reason why I haven't finished it is because of the fact that my husband doesn't like it. So I have to watch it when he is not around.
Oh, I love it.
Which means that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I feel that's like I love Call the Midwives. That's another show that
really?
I really like. Yeah, and that's definitely something Kyle is not interested in because obviously they're midwives. There's lots of babies, and it's based on a true story of a nurse, you know, during that time in England. I can't remember her name right now for the life of me. It's totally escaped me. But, you know, it's not really a guy thing. They're not really interested in nurses and babies and stuff. And it's British. It's also British. So he's kind of like, no thanks.
So what I realized is that, no, I'm insane. There is no Lost spinoff. But what I was actually thinking of was Survivor.
Oh, well, that makes more sense. But Survivor's been on TV way too long, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. And they're like trying to make it like more interesting, I guess. I don't particularly know.
I don't think I've watched it since Richard was on it, when that was a big deal, when he got naked or whatever, and that was forever ago.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't know because I am definitely not into reality TV. Sorry, guys.
No, I don't really watch reality TV either. I'm trying to think if there was anything that I ever really watched. I used to occasionally watch that goofy, what's it called, My Big Fat American Gypsy Wedding, just because it's like, it's literally like a train wreck watching it, and a train wreck that you can't look away from. So sometimes you just have to watch it when you don't have to pay attention to it. It's just kind of there, but it's entertaining.
Yeah, that's how I feel about when I was way younger in high school. I used to watch my Super something Sweet. It was basically the same thing, but for Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm. I remember that show.
I used to occasionally watch that, but even funnier is that, so on our Hulu, what popped up for Tom one day was 90 Day Fiancé, and for fun, he watched like an episode or two, and he's like, this shit's hilarious. You know that this is all like such a fucking train wreck. And I was like, hun, why is this popping up like along with a bunch of other like reality TV shows that are similar were popping up? I'm like, why is this popping up? He's like, oh, it's because I watched an episode or two. I was like, what? Who are you? Why are you watching my 90 Day Fiancé? He's like, well, I saw a meme and then it popped up on Hulu, so I had to try it. And I'm like, gosh. Okay.
He is the subject to the advertising actually working.
Yeah. Well, it's not even really advertising. It was like there was a bunch of memes on Instagram making fun of 90 Day Fiancé, mm-hmm. and he didn't think it was a real thing. So he looked it up on Hulu and was like, well, I have to watch an episode of it now. Because it's not like paid for advertising or anything. He was like,
that's true. Hell? That's also I feel like everybody I know watches The Bachelor.
Oh, I hate it.
And I am just not interested. I actually think it's kind of degrading.
Yes.
I'm not going to compete against 12 women for one guy or vice versa. Or
yes, either way.
It's kind of gross if you ask me.
Yeah. Actually, I did have, sorry, all you Bachelor and Bachelorette friends. All you Bachelor and Bachelorette friends. Are you my friend? Anyway, sorry for the people who like it. I'm not a fan at all. My friends made me sit down and watch an episode. I honestly didn't understand the hype. I was like, sure. I find it ridiculous, but I'm going to hang out with you, and if you're going to watch it, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the whole time, I was mocking the TV show and mocking my friend for watching the TV show. Do you really think all these people, you really think they're going to find real love? Really? When you have to do this disgusting ass shit just to get a guy's attention?
Yeah.
That's not normal.
It's just, I just feel like the whole thing is very weird. I don't understand it, but
not a fan either.
everybody and their brother watched Game of Thrones, and I tried. I really did. And I know everybody says you have to give it a full season, but to me that is way too much time to get dedicated to get me to like it. When in the first 3 episodes I was like, eh.
Oh, I loved all of it.
Even the ending. Supposedly I've heard the ending is like everybody was mad about it. It was another like Sopranos situation. This is just what I've heard through the grapevine. Obviously, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Thinking about it, like I feel like I didn't love it and I didn't hate it, and I can see why people either hated it or loved it. But I'm not giving all of my emotions to a TV show. I don't like saying, oh, I loved everything or I hated everything. You know what I mean? That's just not, because there are parts that I did not like about Game of Thrones and there are parts that I liked about Game of Thrones. So overall, to me, it's a pretty decent series. Yeah. Overall, I like it, but it is what it is.
So, Connie, what's one series that you have binged during quarantine?
Well, we just got done binging Ozark. We like literally finished it within 2 weeks, I think.
Wow.
Seasons. They're long episodes too. And at first, the first season to me is kind of slow. And it was harder for me to get invested to it because I think I tried to watch the first episode twice. Until me and Tom both sat down and watched it. And I was like, okay, this is actually not that bad. Started liking it more within like the second and third season. I'm curious to see where the fourth one is going to go out. Too bad I'll probably have to wait another year for that.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of the hardest things about when you binge something. You're so happy to finally get through it and be caught up. And then you're like, well, now I've got a year until whatever comes out next. Or if it's done, then you're just done.
Done. Yeah. Actually, it's for a while, Tom would not binge anything that doesn't have at least 4 seasons.
Okay, I can see that.
Because it will take enough time that hopefully, if that's all we're watching, that by the time we're done, hopefully the next season will be out. Or it'll be at least closer, like sooner.
Yeah, I got you.
Depending on when you watch it. I also really enjoyed The Great on Hulu because I think it's just like a fun satirical semi-history of Catherine the Great, and I think it's pretty great. And I really hope they do a second season because I'd be very curious to see where they're going to go with this.
Yeah, I need to watch that one. I haven't watched that one, and I do like shows like that because I've watched The Tudors, and I've watched, what else have I watched? I watched something else that was like along those lines. But they're fun shows to watch that they've got a little history, but they're also kind of sexy and fun at the same time.
This one is much more fun. There's a little than like sexy, mysterious. Like Tudors is much more serious than this one, in my opinion.
The Tudors also has a lot of boobs. So guys out there, if you want to see some boobs, there you go.
Or they could just go on any porn site, but whatever.
Hey, That's
if they want some classy side boob is what they're that, and also that's a card from Cards Against Humanity. Full disclosure.
Full disclosure, yeah. Well, no, there's full boobs in there. That's just kind of like that's like Spartacus too. Spartacus had a lot of boobs and blood and sex. It's like the perfect guy show.
Pretty much any show on HBO, and then any show from HBO. Basically, if Tom ever sees me watching it, he's be like, what porno are you watching is what he'll ask me if it's pretty much any show from HBO.
I was flying home once and I had met this really sweet couple. He was a pastor and I don't know what she did, but they were really sweet and they ended up saving me a seat on the plane when I flew. And of course during this time I was watching Spartacus and I'm like in the corner against the wall like with it facing towards me so this sweet old pastor next to me doesn't see like the boobs and the fighting on my Kindle.
Like, sorry, not sorry.
I'm like, sorry, you probably absolutely don't want to see this. Sorry.
I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm just kidding.
It just felt like, I don't know. It just felt wrong.
Especially a pastor, right?
And he was so old and sweet, and I was like, oh man, maybe I should watch something else, but I can't because this is what I downloaded.
Right. So any other great TV shows you've been watching recently? You are making me want to watch Lost, by the way, because I thought that Lost was pretty much like Survivor. So what the hell was the point?
Yeah. So Lost was pretty good. It got a little weird at the end, but we did like it. We recently binged watched the second season of Altered Carbon, which I didn't like as much. Connie and I both discussed this already. We both didn't like it as much as the first.
I still haven't gotten through the second season, honestly.
I still liked it. There was a lot of subplots going on, so I feel like it made it more confusing, and there wasn't like a definite ending point, it seemed like, but it was still really good. We enjoyed it. We did that. What else did we do? I think The Punisher was before quarantine happened, but that's another really good one, The Punisher.
That is a good one, but I haven't. Is that only a miniseries?
The Punisher's done, because what's his name? John Berthmel, whatever his name is, that plays the Punisher, posted on Instagram that it's done. He was like hanging up the vest.
How many seasons of that is there? Because like I think we watched like 2 or 3 seasons.
I think that's what there is, 2 or 3. There's not that many, but it was really good. It's funny because I'm not a huge fan of John Berthmel, or however the hell you say his name. You guys know who I'm talking about, though, the guy that plays the Punisher. He was also in The Walking Dead as, what was his name, Shane?
Yes.
So it was really, I did not like him in Walking Dead. I wasn't that impressed with him, but he is really good as the Punisher.
Wow, there's only 2 seasons of the Punisher.
I thought so.
Yeah, then I think that we did, me and Tom watched the whole thing.
You can only do so much with it, and I think something weird happened, like Disney or somebody picked it up, and obviously you can't have the Punisher like that with Disney.
Yeah.
That's not just going to work.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Disney takes the Punisher.
I think they did. I could be totally and absolutely wrong. I just know that it's over because he posted that he was hanging up his vest, and that was the end of it. That's
sad because from what I remember, I'm like, it didn't really get that far.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I mean, the seasons were both kind of separate in a way. I mean, they kind of continued, but it kind of separated. And they definitely came to like an end, but you absolutely could have done more with it.
For sure. So
we're both spacing out thinking.
Well, yeah, I really did. I like loved and hated his character on The Walking Dead, and that was actually something that me and Tom got into when we were remodeling the house, was The Walking Dead. He loved it because there were so many seasons of it to binge watch.
We started watching it and we did really like it, but we have not finished it because it kind of dragged on, and we were like, oh, okay, this is kind of the same thing. I don't know, maybe I'll give it another try because I did like it. It is a good show, but kind of got, sometimes you get burned out and you get over it. We watched Breaking Bad after everybody had already done it. It was out on Netflix.
Oh, so did Tom.
And when we came to the episode where he spent the entire episode chasing the fly around his chemistry room, I don't know why they made that episode. It was the worst episode ever. I didn't watch it again for like 2 months until I was finally like, okay, I guess I'll finish it. And I'm glad I finished it because that's a great series. But that one episode was so freaking dumb that I was like, I can't watch this.
I've had moments like that, and I honestly just, okay, next episode. Like, this is stupid. I'm going on to the next episode.
Yeah, The Sopranos even had a couple that were like that too. When Tony got shot and he was in this like weird dream world, I'm like, we don't need why do we need this episode? It's kind of pointless. Skip.
Yep. It doesn't hurt. How long did it take you to get through The Sopranos?
A long time, because there's what? 6 or 7, I think.
Seasons,
yeah, and they're an hour long. So yeah, it took us a while. And then my parents came to visit, and they had both seen it, but they wanted to like rewatch it because they didn't remember certain things. So then it had me all messed up because you know how it resets your prime. So then I'm like, I don't know where I am. Figure out where I was, which was fine. But yeah, it took a while.
Have you seen The Witcher on Netflix?
I have not seen that one.
That one is great. Henry, who plays Superman, Henry Cavill, is that what his name is?
I think it's Cavill. I think it's Henry Cavill, but I could be wrong. Yeah,
Either
the guy
way.
Superman.
Yes, he's in it. It's just worth it. Yeah, I was gonna say. Enough said, right?
Yeah,
I cannot wait until I see the second season of that. Like, so there was a BuzzFeed. This ties in, I swear, guys. So there was a BuzzFeed list of 30-something movies that'll keep you thinking. And actually, this TV show, to me, was like a TV show that kept you thinking. Because at first you think it's linear. This is all happening, but just in different people's perspective. But it's the same timeline. But it's not.
Yeah, I love movies like that where it keeps you guessing and you're not sure, and
you don't get it until like the last few episodes that, this is not all in the same time frame and timeline.
Mm-hmm.
These are just two separate characters and their stories.
So since we're talking about, we kind of switched to movies, sort of. I'm gonna put Connie on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 movies, no order needed, whatever order you want to put them in, just the top 5 movies that you like that you can think of right now.
That I can think of right now.
I know, because I know later on you're gonna be like, fuck, that should have been in there, but you don't think of it right away. So whatever, like, you think of right now.
I go with like the ones that I could like continuously watch over and over again because I love them.
Okay.
So like I love The Conjuring. Is one I swear to God, I could watch it at any time. I love it. I love the plot. I love the actors. Honestly, I love that whole series, but that's beside the point. There's a new movie out called The Hunt, which I absolutely love, and I think it's hilarious. I haven't watched it again, but I think it's great. New Jumanji. The 2 new Jumanjis out. I really like those.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
They're really funny and good. I like the classic one just as well.
I have a hard time because like the classic one is so good.
The classic one is very good, but I like that it's like a new spin. They're not trying to recreate the classic Jumanji. This is how Jumanji has evolved in our time, which is what I like.
Yeah. Okay, so that was what, 3?
Yes.
Okay. I know this is a hard question.
It really is. I give you my top 3, so I just need 4 and 5. I think I could watch over and over again. One of the movies that I love is Aladdin, from like Disney's classic Aladdin.
Yeah. Robin Williams.
And then I think it'd have to be a tie between Finding Nemo and How to Train Your Dragon. I love those 2 movies. And is that not
good movies?
You have to say, though, is that not the weirdest list? Because you have a horror movie, a couple of cartoons, The Hunt, which is a hilarious action movie. It's very great.
At least you got some variety in there.
Oh, yeah. And then also, like, all of the Die Hards would be on that list. Like, I just like movies in general. But those are, like, the ones I think that I watch the most.
There you go.
Oh, Riette, I got to flip that shit on you. Now you probably have more time to think about yours, asshole.
Actually, no, I was very intently listening to your list. Let's see. Good. One that's always got to be on mine that I think is a fantastic movie that you usually always see on the top list is Fight Club. It's just such a good movie.
I saw it, but I only thought, I thought it was okay. It just did not make my top list.
Oh, I love Fight Club. That's a great movie.
I love it too. He would be there with you.
Edward Norton is amazing. Let's see. What else? I love Dirty Dancing. I could watch that movie over and over.
That is a good one. I used to watch it over and over again when I was a teen.
You got to have a romance movie in there. I can't really think of any. I love scary movies, but they always disappoint me. The Conjuring is a good one, though.
It is. It's a good one.
I really like Fury, which was a great movie, a great war movie. It's got Brad Pitt, and it's actually got John Botham, or however you say his name, the Punisher in it.
Yes, Fury was really good.
It's a great movie. Let's see, that's 3. What else? One that I loved when I was younger. I still love it. I shouldn't even say that. I loved it since I was in high school. It's a really dumb movie, but I love it. It's called Out Cold. It's one of those dumb. It's kind of similar to like American Pie. It's just one of those kind of like dumb, funny movies. These guys live on a ski resort and they beer board, and it's just a funny, dumb movie. But I could watch it over and over. Let's see. I need one more. Ooh, I love V for Vendetta.
Ooh, that is a really good one.
And it kind of is suiting to what's going on right now.
Yes, it is. It's a very great movie.
That's a great movie. I love his V speech where he says everything, just that really long speech where everything starts with a V.
I used to watch that movie on, like, not on replay, but I used to watch that movie a lot. I can't believe I didn't think about that, just like you said. And also the Fury one, which is a very good movie. Also, have you seen 1917?
Not yet. We have that. It's saved on a thing.
Good.
I haven't seen it yet. We did see Midway, and Midway was really good, which is the other new war movie that came out.
I don't think I've seen Midway.
Well, then you have to watch Midway, and I have to watch 1917.
1917. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, being married to a Marine, obviously, I'm going to see a lot of war movies. I still haven't. People are going to gasp out there. I still haven't seen Saving Private Ryan.
You know what, though? Me too.
But Kyle tells me I have to, and it's on our, I think it's either Netflix or Hulu. It's in our queue, and I was like, I absolutely will watch it. I love Tom Hanks, so I'm.
Yeah, you and I should both watch it.
It's just really long, so when I want to sit down and watch it, I want to be in the right mindset to watch it, and I haven't been in that mindset yet to sit down and watch an almost 3-hour-long movie.
Yeah.
But I will watch it, I promise.
Well, and also, actually, do you know this? That Mitchell, my brother, used to literally sit down and watch that all the time. He had that movie on repeat. That used to be his favorite movie when we were in high school.
Interesting. I wouldn't have picked that as like his
all-time favorite. Well, at the time, like, that's all he could talk about was how much he loved Saving Private Ryan. I don't know. He might say, oh, no, that's not true. But I do remember when I was in high school, that's pretty much all he would talk about was Saving Private Ryan.
Interesting. Well, one of Kyle's favorite movies is Braveheart. And I had never seen Braveheart until, I don't know, whenever he made me watch it. Not too long ago. And I have to say, it's a really good movie.
It is a good movie. It's been a really long time, though, since I've seen it. I think I saw it in high school, so.
Yeah, I had never seen it, and he was like.
And now it just came out on, what, Hulu, Netflix? One of the two have it now.
Yeah, I think that's how we watched it, because it was on, well, I mean, we have Hulu, Netflix, and Prime, so Lord knows what it was on, but.
Yeah. It was on something.
It was really good, yeah. I don't know, I think I'm behind on movies, because I was an only kid. My parents didn't really like movies, so we never, like, that was never our thing. We never went to the movies. We didn't go to the movie theater. So there's a lot of movies that when I was a teenager and younger that I never really got to see because I just never had the opportunity. And then when I went to college and I made friends, it was like, hey, let's go to the movies. And I finally started to watch movies.
Yeah. And also, yeah, my family growing up, for sure, because of all those road trips we would take.
Yeah.
We were always watching movies, and I absolutely loved that we always watched, not always, but we always watched action movies because none of my girlfriends would watch them, and I'm like, no, trust me, like, we have to watch Indiana Jones. It's the shit, which is also another movie that should have been on my top list. Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade is a really good movie that I could watch. Oh, and Jurassic Park. See? I already have to start editing my list and making it longer.
See? No, those are both good movies too. And I hadn't seen Star Wars until more recently. I mean, it's been a couple years now, but definitely longer than it took most people. I had seen Indiana Jones. Grandpa Shrank loved James Bond movies. So we know we saw most of the James Bond movies.
I think I actually found one of his James Bond movies at my mom's house.
Oh, there you go.
In a cassette.
That was his favorite.
But VHS.
Yeah,
VHS, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He loved James Bond.
He had them all, and that's pretty much the only thing that we would be able to, like, watch at Grandma and Grandpa's house that we were actually interested in. Yep. And that was, like, kind of recent.
Yep, he loved it. Loved it. Yeah, and the Jurassic Park movies are good, too, especially the very first one.
Yes. I really like the first and the third.
Yeah.
Because it's the same main character from the first is also in the third.
That's like Alien. The very first movie, Alien, not Aliens, was the best one with Sigourney Weaver, and that's another good one. That was a fantastic movie.
We actually just, I don't know if this is a fantastic movie or if it's a movie that you watched. I thought it was pretty decent. But Tom's like, oh, have you ever watched Air Force One? I was like, actually, no. Like, I don't think I have. It's with Harrison Ford back in the 90s. But we were, like, just laughing a little bit because the shots of, like, the plane in the sky flying, for what we have now, it's like, oh my God, that's bad CGI. And like back then, it was like state of the art, awesome, you know? And we were just laughing about that.
Well, that's I just finally had my son watch E.T. I was like, oh, we bet Jackson would love this movie. Let's have him watch it. And we're watching it. And you know, the special effects are still not awful, but it's definitely not as good as it is now. But he did get a kick out of it.
He did like it? That's nice.
That's another good movie. So let's take a little step back from movies and TV, because not everybody's a movie and TV person. I'm sure most people are. But let's talk about some books that we've read recently, because Connie and I are both big readers also. We don't just sit in front of the boob tube, as my mom would call it. We do
I try not to anyway.
Yeah, we do read, so
I love my Kindle Unlimited.
Heck yeah. Yeah, Kyle just bought me a Kindle Paperweight, which is the newest Kindle, and I didn't think I would like it more than my Fire. I love it.
So what's the difference?
It's not backlit. So, like, when I'm out at the beach, if I had my Fire at the beach, it's just like when you look at your phone screen. It's reflective and you can't really see it. But with the Paperwhite, it's just like you had a book. You can see it. It doesn't blur it out. It doesn't anything. So it's not backlit. It just is so much easier to read. And I also want to throw out there, because I feel like I've told this to a lot of people since the pandemic has happened. If you have a library card, and I guess even right now the New York Library is doing it without even needing a library card. But when things get back to normal, if you have a library card, you can get an app called Overdrive. And I think Overdrive is actually even transferring over to Libby. But either way, it's the same thing. It's just whatever app they use. And you enter in your library card number, and you can get any book your little heart could possibly desire for free through the library.
Nice.
So just to throw that out there, because I love it. And even if it's a really popular book, you can put your name on the wait list, and it might take a while. It might take, like, what do I have my name on? I finally did get it, which is a great book. I just finally read Where the Crawdads Sing, and I was on the wait list, I think, like 3 months. It wasn't too bad, but it finally came through during quarantine. So it's kind of a cool feature that you still can get the popular books. You just have to wait a little bit, but you can still get them for free instead of spending, $20 at the library.
Or $10 a month for Kindle Unlimited.
Or that. And I just said $20 at the library. I meant $20 to buy it, is what I meant. But that is a great book, just by the by. I'm sure a lot of people have read it because it was number 1 on the book reading list. But Where the Crawdads Sing is a amazing book.
Yeah, it just popped up on my Kindle Unlimited. Like,
it's really good.
Suggestions for you.
I'm not surprised. It is a really good coming of age / like murder mystery. It's a good book.
You know what it reminded me of? And it's probably just because I ended up watching this documentary, and it wasn't about crawdads or anything, but like the first episode, this little girl ended up dying, and actually being abducted, raped, and thrown into a lake, and the crawdads ate her. And that's how they knew there weren't, because this one guy was trying to say like, oh no, she was bitten. And they did like this test in the water that like, no, it was actually crawdads that left those marks.
Interesting.
Not bite marks. Because you don't bite like that.
And then I also just finished, if you haven't read Olive Kitteridge, I never know if I say it right. I think it's Kitteridge. That first book is phenomenal. It won a Pulitzer Prize. The second part of it, called Olive Again, just came out recently, and I just finished that. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but it is still a good book. So if you haven't read either one of those, I definitely recommend them.
Yeah, and so I read different books than Rieta. I read funny romance, suspense type novels.
I read those too. I read everything.
Oh, okay. Well, so
Connie reads more of that though, is what she's saying.
I do. That is what I'm saying. Anyway, there is a book series called I think it's called Princeton Charming. Princeton, like the university, Charming, like by C.M. Seabrook. I believe that's who it was. Now I'm going to search it. But it was really good. And it's kind of like a Cinderella story almost. It's split into 3 parts, but it's a little bit like darker because of, he's like really fucked up because of his family, that kind of thing, and like social expectations for them both. And she doesn't, which is one of the reasons why I like it, she doesn't feel the need to change who she is just because he has some money. She's like, nope, this is who I am. I am a hardworking person. I'm trying to get through school. I don't care that you have money or like what you can give me or anything like that. I am just trying to be me. If you don't like it, fuck off.
Well, that sounds interesting. I'd be down to read that. I like all sorts of books, so I'm always down for.
Yeah, it's actually called, it is the Princeton Charming series, and it's called Kissing Princeton Charming. And it's by Frankie Love and C.M. Seabrook. And it's like a 4-part series. It's really good though. There's also this other book series that I really like, and it's hilarious. And it starts with Stealing His Banana is what the first one is called. And I think it's like a series of like 4 or 5, and it's by, I want to say Penelope Bloom. And absolutely like a hilarious rom-com books. They're very funny.
I've read some books like that. Some of the first books that I really got into, so they're the Stephanie Plum novels by Janet Ivanovich. And there's like 20 something in the series now, but they're really funny. She's this horrible bounty hunter. She's always fucking things up. She has a crush on like this police officer, but she also has a crush on this other guy, and they are just laugh out loud funny.
Yeah, it is by Penelope Bloom, and it's Objects of Attraction is what the like series is called, and it's very funny. Like one is His Package.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, like they had to make it Her Cherry. They had to make
lovely.
Yeah, they had to make it super. Like I just thought that they're very quirky and funny. I love it. And then I also really love, like, I'm thinking about rereading these books, but I used to absolutely love, and I still do. It's called The Truth About Forever. It's such a good angsty teenage coming of age story by Sarah Dessen. D-E-S-S.
I read those.
Yeah, she has like a ton of books, and they're all pretty like teenage coming of age angsty stories, but Truth About Forever is my favorite one, because she's just trying to figure out, she's been told to do this her whole life, like get straight A's, be a straight A student, etc., and then I believe it's her dad dies. And then she questions everything.
Okay.
And she's working at this quirky, what is it? It's a catering company. This quirky fun, there's always something going on, but the food always ends up being great. And she makes friends that make her question her life and path. And her mom is like, what is going on? Because she's so different than what she used to be before her dad's death.
Interesting. I would read that. That sounds interesting.
It's really good.
There you go. Okay.
I'll send it to you. I'll UPS it to you. I'm just kidding.
Okay, cool. No, I'll get it with my library app.
Yeah.
What was it called again?
Truth About Forever.
Okay, I'll have to read that. I've also read some nonfiction books lately that are good. I just recently read Kyle Carpenter's book. So for people who don't know, Kyle Carpenter he jumped on a grenade to save his fellow Marines and actually lived to tell the story. And he wrote a book about it, and it's very good, and it's very moving, and it reminds you to, find joy in everything that you're doing. It's very well written. So I've read that. Obviously, I'm still reading military stuff because, again, this is my life. I also just recently read John Peck's book, which is called Rebuilding Sergeant Peck. He came back from Afghanistan a quadruple amputee. He's only the second person in the world to have real arms transplanted on his body, not prosthetics, real human arms. And he talks about, the whole thing that he went through, waking up with no arms and legs, getting over the suicidal darkness, getting his real arms and coming back from it. So it was a very moving story.
How does one transplant real arms? That's really fucking crazy and cool.
Yeah, 14-hour surgery, to reconnect all the ligaments and everything.
Yeah. Ow.
His story is incredible. That's a one-of-a-kind person right there.
Legit. That's crazy.
I'm trying to think what else I've read that's recent. I'm looking at my bookcase behind me.
Yeah, Tom calls pretty much all of the books that I read, he calls them smut. And I say that's fine. You can. Some of them are smuttier than others.
Steamy romance is the word I would use.
Well, actually, all of the books that I mentioned today, they're not 100% just about romance.
Oh, that's another...
There's other shit going on just besides two people getting
boning.
Together. Yeah.
Another... I just looked at my bookcase. I think her name is Lainey. I don't know if I'm saying that. Lainey Moriarty. She is an Aussie author. I think her big one is My Husband's Secret, is the one that I think a lot of people know. I finished that book in 2 days. It was fantastic. So she has My Husband's Secret. That TV show, what's it called? My Big Little Lies or whatever. That is based on...
Big Little Lies, yeah.
That is based on her book. Her book is called Big Little Lies. And if you haven't read the book is fantastic. So that's another one of hers. And then I just finished another one of hers, actually 2 more of hers. I read 9 Perfect Strangers and What Alice Forgot. And I don't like those 2 as much, but My Husband's Secret I could not put down. And Big Little Lies is also really good too, which is what that TV show is based on.
Wait, the TV show is based on the book Big Little Lies or his Little Secret?
No, the TV show is based on the book by the same name.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. My Husband's Secret, though, is...
So what was the husband's secret?
You have to read
it.
You have to read it. No cheating here.
I'll read the synopsis.
That's cheating.
I'm just kidding.
I actually finally read a classic book this quarantine. I had never read Jane Eyre.
Oh, really?
And that had been on my list to read forever, and I finally read Jane Eyre.
That is a good book, and I also ended up in high school, but it was still really good. I wish I remembered who it was by, but it was just called Jane, but it's pretty much a modern retelling of the same story.
Oh, okay. I'll have to read that. But yeah, Jane Eyre was really good. Mm-hmm. It's always good to get caught up in the classics. If you've never read like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, that's a great book. Way better than the movie.
It's not that difficult though. I never really heard very many like good reviews of that one.
No, but the book is really good. Mm-hmm. By Ken Kubrick. Yeah.
Clockwork Orange, I believe that's another good like classic one that at least that I remember people read it in school. I don't think I had to read it, but I knew a lot of other people who did.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I read that one. I read like Huckleberry Finn and, you know, stuff like that. Shakespeare and...
Well, I had a couple of different, because they give the English teachers lists. So I read like Native Son, some ones that were like a little bit more unusual for high schoolers to read. The actually one that I could not put down in high school was, what was that book called? And there's a movie about it as well. And the movie is good too.
Which that's hard to do. A lot of times they're not like both good.
With Miss Grinwall or whatever.
I'm trying to think what you're talking about.
Yeah. So am I. And I actually just saw it and watched it the other day too. And it's basically she goes and she teaches under Black and Asian kids or whatever. And they write a diary.
Oh.
It gets published.
I have no idea.
Now I have to like look it up because I'm like, what the hell is the name of that?
I hate that when you like can't think of anything for the life of you. It's there in your brain somewhere, but you can't dig it out.
Yes, exactly. Freedom Writers, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, the Freedom Writers Diary.
Oh, okay.
And it was a
I haven't seen that.
And a movie. The movie is called Freedom Writers.
Okay, so now I gotta add both of those things.
Yeah, I was gonna say watch both of them. They're both really good. And actually, I read Time Traveler's Life, and that one was really good. I think I ended up crying in the middle of class because I was reading that book when I should have paid attention to other things. The book is amazing comparative to the movie.
That's usually how it goes. That's like Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio actually is a book. It started off as a book. Yeah. And the book, I feel like if you read the book and then see the movie makes way more sense. Like, you have to read the book first.
I should do that. That's, like, a fun thing to do. Like, go read a book and then watch the movie. Then compare.
And see which one is better. And usually it's the book just because the book can get more detail in it. But, you know, plus your own imagination.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've already seen Shutter Island, so I wonder if I'd be like, oh, I know what happens. You know what I mean?
I feel like it gives you a different outlook. But you'll have to read it.
I will. We've now both learned a bunch of different book and movie recommendations from each other.
And hopefully you guys have too.
And hopefully send us more recommendations.
I was just going to say, as usual, go to our Instagram, share what you're watching, reading, whatever, what you've been binging during this quarantine time. Or if you haven't, what have you been doing? All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Rietta.
I'm Connie.
And thank you for listening.